When John Simmons, a prominent Boston clothing manufacturer and real estate developer, died in 1870, his will provided for the founding of an educational institution then called Simmons Female College. In the document, Simmons proclaimed, "It is my will to found and endow an institution for the purpose of teaching medicine, music, drawing, designing, telegraphy, and other branches of art, science, and industry, best calculated to enable the scholars to acquire an independent livelihood." Funding for the institution did not become available for almost 30 years, as the Great Fire of 1872 destroyed many real estate holdings owned by Simmons. However, by 1899, sufficient funding became available to establish the college John Simmons had envisioned. From 1899 to the present, John Simmons' mission to enable female scholars to acquire an independent livelihood has both endured and evolved. The mission has guided administrators, inspired faculty, and shaped the ethos of students and alumni for over 125 years. Though not as broad as the curriculum envisioned by John Simmons, the college's early curriculum remained rooted in providing students with a practical and professional education that would allow them to pursue social, political, and economically independent lives in a time where very few women worked and even fewer attended institutions of higher education. Simmons initially offered Bachelor of Science degrees in addition to certificate programs in household economics, including teaching courses, library studies, secretarial studies, and general science that offered training in teaching and nursing as well. Simmons continued to develop its mission-based curriculum in 1904 with the creation of the Boston School for Social Workers. Administered in collaboration with Harvard University, the School for Social Workers was the first academically affiliated school of social work in the United States. While initially offering a Bachelor of Science degree, the school began to offer a Master's in Science in 1912 and became an independent entity altogether when Harvard withdrew from the partnership in 1916, and the Simmons College School of Social Work was born. Shortly thereafter, Simmons expanded program offerings to the realms of business and healthcare. The School of Salesmanship became the Prince School of Retailing in 1918. Students were also offered a program in physical therapy, and the School of Public Health Nursing was also established in 1918. In addition to providing a route towards economic and social independence, these programs produced pioneers in the field who brought the ethos of Simmons into their careers and communities long after graduation. As an institution focused on a practical education, Simmons created a community of students that was poignantly different from that of other women's colleges in the early 20th century. Students were largely from a middle-class background. Furthermore, Simmons was particularly attractive to Jewish students, as the college was one of the few private institutions in the United States to not impose a Jewish student quota. Simmons became a more diverse community when Lydia Brown enrolled as the college's first Black student. While still a vastly white institution, Lydia was a trailblazer who, after graduating from the Secretarial Studies program, attended the Harvard Graduate School of Education. She became a teacher and worked with the Homestead Commission at the State House in Boston. Lydia was also an outspoken anti-racist and anti-colonialist who served as delegate in the Pan-African Congress of 1921. The mission of an independent livelihood for women extended beyond the economic and into the political realm, creating an activist ethos that manifested in the earliest members of the Simmons community. This was especially evident in regard to the suffrage movement. The first dean of the college, Sarah Louise Arnold, served in prominent positions for multiple suffrage organizations and lectured publicly on the matter. Students such as Catherine Hobart also advocated publicly for the movement on and off campus, while others, like Wilda Claire Strong Peck, became founding members of suffrage organizations like the Cambridge League for Women Voters. Student organizations embodied the socially conscious mission fostered at Simmons. Both the Student Government Association and the Social and Civics Club provided opportunities for leadership on campus and in alumni communities after graduation. Today, the SGA and many other student organizations founded throughout the history of Simmons carry on this legacy of leadership, service, and community engagement. Leadership and community bonds were further fostered through athletics and college traditions. By 1910, the Student Athletic Association was founded, and students could be found playing tennis, field hockey, and basketball. Traditions such as May Day, the college's longest-running event, prom, the Old English dinner, and step singing, just to name a few, also fostered a sense of belonging and helped to define what it meant to be a member of the Simmons community. While the earliest college buildings were diffused throughout the Fenway and Back Bay areas of Boston, a move to Simmons's current campus commenced with the purchase of land next to the Gardner Mansion in 1903. The main college building was completed in 1904, and the residential campus began to take shape when the college purchased land on Brookline Avenue. By 1920, it was evident that Simmons had successfully combined a program centered on intellectual achievement and technical proficiency. This success created a need to expand the institution's capacities, an endeavor that opened avenues for a larger community of women to gain an independent livelihood. To raise the much-needed funds, the first endowment campaign commenced with considerable efforts from the administration and faculty, alongside robust participation from alumni and students. Students displayed their business abilities through a pencil sales campaign, while alumni opened the Simmons Salvage Shop on Newberry Street. These efforts produced over $1 million of revenue for the college, resulting in expanded course offerings, much-needed repairs to facilities, and the construction of Evans Hall in 1938. College pride and student involvement with clubs, athletics, and campus traditions extended into this period as well. This is evidenced by the considerable amount of Simmons ephemera now housed in the university archives. As the college and its community grew, the mission of educating women for an independent livelihood endured and prospered. President Lefevre and Dean Arnold reconceptualized the college's 4 major areas of study into 9 schools: household economics, secretarial studies, library science, general science, social work, physical education, the Prince School of Store Service Education, public health nursing, and landscape architecture. The professionalist and activist ethos persevered in this generation of students, as evidenced by Dorothy Boulding Farabee. After Simmons, Farabee attended Tufts Medical School, graduating near the top of her class. She later served as a physician and medical consultant to the Peace Corps and State Department while advocating for Black civil rights through her participation in voting drives, the National Council of Negro Women, and the League of Women Voters. Farabee's accomplishments were recognized by Simmons in 1959 when she received the first Alumni Achievement Award for her noble life and career in medicine dedicated to the highest advancement and welfare of mankind. Later, the Farabee Scholarship was established to expand educational opportunities for Black, Native American, Asian, and Latinx students. The 1940s and 1950s are characterized by a deepened commitment to the college's mission, alongside considerable challenges beyond the institution's control. Just as Simmons later weathered the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic, the college faced considerable financial and professional challenges wrought by World War II. Because of the professional and practical orientation of its curriculum, the Simmons community not only confronted, but prospered under the wartime demands. Graduates were already prepared to enter war service through their professional training, while current students employed their training on the home front and across both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. To meet the increasing demands for a practical education in the post-war era, the new schools of social science, education, and publication were established. In 1949, the School of Library Science began to offer a Master in Science degree, in addition to the Bachelor of Science, further contributing to the movement of women into the professional sphere. As demand for admission increased in the post-war years, so did the need for student housing. As such, 4 new dormitories and Bartle Hall were constructed, providing spaces not just to sleep and eat, but to further build community bonds. The 1960s and 1970s witnessed an evolution in the mission outlined by John Simmons almost a century prior, with a newly articulated commitment to diversifying the community. This expanded mission altered not only the face of Simmons, but the professional landscape as well. As the college's mission was reworked, so was the curriculum. Simmons offered its first Bachelor of Arts degree in the School of Education, established a continuing education program for adult students, now known as the Dick Scholars Program, and replaced pre-existing academic department systems with a school-based structure. The curriculum also responded to the demands put forth by the civil rights and women's liberation movements by implementing African American studies and women's studies courses. With the 1972 establishment of the Black Studies program, Simmons was not only diversifying the community, but also creating opportunities to study or underrepresented histories. Institutional change also manifested in the creation of innovative graduate programs to meet the demands of a changing professional landscape. New programs included a Master of Arts in English and Teaching, as well as a Master of Science in Education. In 1974, the college established the Graduate Program in Management, the first and only management program designed specifically for women, to provide training for women. The creation of the Graduate School for Health Studies over a decade later was likewise innovative and brought even more women into the professional healthcare sector. Just as Simmons tailored its academic offerings to meet the demands of a changing world, the college's physical landscape was altered with the construction of Lefevre Hall and Beatley Library in 1961, as well as the Park Science Center in 1972. This era also saw the construction of 2 new dormitories and extensive renovations to the main college building, namely to make spaces more accessible for community members with disabilities. While Simmons reconceptualized the original mission of the college to prioritize diversity in the community during this era, many Black students did not feel that their treatment and opportunities were equal to those of their white counterparts. To both organize a Black activist sphere and create a community of belonging, the Simmons Civil Rights Club was founded in 1965 as the first student organization explicitly dedicated to promoting civil rights. This group became the Black Student Organization 2 years later, and students continued to push the college to live up to its newly articulated commitment to diversity. Indeed, the BSO presented their 10 demands to President Park in 1969 and called for changes to the curriculum, faculty, student body, and financial aid system. Through their activism, the 10 demands led to sweeping changes in administrative policy, course offerings, student recruitment, as well as faculty recruitment, and Black representation on campus. The activist ethos fostered at Simmons led to other examples of social justice advocacy in the community. Many students protested the Vietnam War, and over 800 students participated in the May Day protest of 1967, challenging the administration to make faculty salaries competitive after 10% of faculty members left Simmons earlier that year. The creation of the Lesbian Support Group in 1977 also created space for members of the LGBTQ+ community to express their identity at Simmons and engage in mutual support as well as community-centered education. Throughout the 1970s and through the 1990s, numerous student organizations such as the Asian Students Association, the Black Hispanic Organization, the Latin American Spanish-speaking organization, and the Caribbean Cultural Association were established to not only form community in a largely white institution, but to advocate for themselves and assert their place at Simmons. As members of the LGBTQ+ community became more active in the public arena during this time, the Gay and Lesbian Awareness Organization was founded to create an activist community grounded in mutual support and peer education. The opening of the Women's Center in 1990 further expanded educational opportunities for the community to learn about women's health, promote awareness of gender-based violence, and connect all community members with resources to live fuller lives. By the late 90s, President Cheever sought to shape Simmons' financial status and bring John Simmons' vision into the 21st century. Through Strategic Plan 1999, $51 million was reinvested in facilities and technology on campus. Soon after, the centennial celebration and the campaign for Simmons led to a reassessment of the college's purpose. Approved in 2002, the college expanded on John Simmons' original mission by declaring Simmons an authority on women, education for the professions, leadership, and diversity. Reaffirming the modern mission of Simmons, President Helen Drynan articulated her vision for the 21st century when she stated, "Simmons will become a beacon of leadership in the world of higher education, a resource to our nation and our world, known for our expertise in fields which improve the human condition, sought out for the findings of our highly reputable research, and seen as the global expert in educating women for their own empowerment and for leadership." Despite the monumental challenges faced during the 2008 financial crisis, Simmons has continued to grow and evolve in the 21st century. Notably, online programs have been established and expanded, bringing the ethos and mission of Simmons beyond the bounds of the academic and residential campuses. The PLAN program is also a hallmark of 21st century Simmons, created to help students find their purpose, practice leadership, and put their knowledge and skills into action through a curriculum that is cross-disciplinary, as well as social justice and community service oriented. PLAN has thus continued the Simmons tradition of a practical education, conscious of the modern educational and professional spheres, with an orientation towards community service and social justice. The 2018 reorganization of Simmons' school structure to foster interdisciplinary learning and cross-departmental collaboration among the College of Natural, Behavioral, and Health Sciences, College of Organizational, Computational, and Information Sciences, College of Social Sciences, Policy and Practice, and the Gwen Ifill College of Media Arts and Humanities have further modernized the curriculum and shifted Simmons from a college to university designation. The fight for a more inclusive community continues in the 21st century. In 2014, Simmons became one of the earliest historically women's colleges to release an official policy accepting trans students, setting a tradition of empowering women, challenging gender roles, and a rich history of inclusion, even if the pursuit of such has not always been perfect. The BSO has also remained active in the community. An updated 10 Demands was issued in 2015, citing a lack of support for minority students by Simmons. Other student groups have raised their voices to a more inclusive community as well. Examples include, but are not limited to, the Islamic Society, Organización Latinoamericana, and the Multicultural and International Student Organization. The university's administration has likewise worked to make Simmons a more inclusive community. The opening of the Multicultural Center in 2018 created space for growth and healing for systematically marginalized community members, offered educational opportunities for understanding social inequities, and provided tools to create positive change, both at Simmons and beyond. Simmons has also continued its long history of community service with the Scott Ross Center for Community Service, and later the Stephen D. Center for Community Engagement and Social Justice. Indeed, over 430 students completed over 16,265 hours of community service over the 2022 to 23 academic year alone. As academic offerings, the social landscape, and support for marginalized members of Simmons have changed in the 21st century, so has the university's vision of its physical space. One Simmons and the Living and Learning Center will bring the community together in state-of-the-art dorm rooms and classrooms, as well as dining and athletic facilities. This endeavor is supported by the 2022 renovations to Lefevre Hall and Beatley Library that created innovative lab and study spaces to facilitate active learning for the 21st century. Thank you for taking a tour with me through the last 125 years of Simmons. To learn more about Simmons' history through artifacts, photographs, exhibits, or our extensive collection of institutional archives and manuscript collections, we invite you to visit the University Archives in person or online. Thank you.